Hello and welcome back once again to Hand of Fate 2. Let's continue our game. This time we should have a decision to make as to which direction we want to go on the map. Let's see what our options are.
You and I will travel a ways together. I will teach you all I know, and you will destroy he who has taken my place.
So let's see, we've got the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Emperor. I think we'll start with the High Priestess. I've got my companion. Let's take a look at encounters. The general rule, I like to do ones that have the tokens to them. There we go, that should do for us. Alright, we get 5 equipment cars total. So that should be a good idea right there. Alright, excellent. Collect blessings in order to enter the ritual house at the summit of Mount Freydis and negotiate a treaty with the Northerners there. We gain blessings to increase our chances of success, but we should not be expected to be welcomed by Northerners. We can survive by restoring life at camp. Alright. See how it goes.
You find yourself once again in the company of prayer and religion. How unfortunate.
2 tokens. How interesting.
Now it begins. Negotiations on behalf of the Empire. We will see how that story ends.
Malaclypse has somehow roped you into traveling deep into the far north on a diplomatic mission. While I usually refrain from working for the Empire, since this one takes me farther away from it, I've made an exception. It'll square my debt with General Brandstrom and help open many doors for you. What do you say? Well, I always like to ask questions first, so let's see how we can help. As you know, I have a great many skills, but my swordsmanship is unlikely to hold up against northern raiders. I know no one else who is more up to the task. That's nice of him. Let's ask about the leader. There are many clans dotted around, but the supposed leader of them all is the High Priestess who lives up here. Malaclypse points to the top of the soaring mountain before you. Will you join me, he asks. General Brandstrom instructed me not to come back until I talk to the High Priestess of the North and offer the terms of the treaty, he explains. Will you join me? Well, yes, I guess we'll join him. Excellent. Bring your sword and let me do the talking, says Malaclypse. I brought plenty of supplies so we can set up camp when we get hungry. Oh, wow. Okay, that was a lot of food. Malaclypse shares a tidbit as you commence your journey. The High Priestess is quite partial to blessings. If you can prove yourself worthy, we'd have a better chance of swaying her in our favor. So we should collect at least 6 blessings. Alright. We grit our teeth and begin the ascent.
Be careful
Blizzard.
where one takes refuge, even in the worst of storms.
The climb becomes unbearable as a ferocious blizzard sweeps the mountain. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. Let's not get a huge failure. Wow, that was really terrible. You are alerted to the sound of shuffling footsteps. You can barely make out the silhouettes of the menacing figures who have invaded your shelter. They're not the sort you'd want to be in such close quarters with. Awesome. And I've got a low-level axe. Perfect. Raider. From the frozen darkness of the far north they come. Northerners can perform a combo attack. You use riposte with single-handed weapons to deal extra damage immediately after you defend.
Don't let them hit me! I'm too handsome for violence.
Well, we don't have a single-handed weapon. Well, unfortunately. Ow. Well, they hit hard, but fortunately, so do I. Not elegant, but successful. As the blizzard eases, the intruders make their escape. Malekthip forges for firewood, saying, "This log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night." Access the campfire at any time between encounters. The campfire can be used to consume food, trade, or view your mission. Interesting. So if we camp...
Campfires will always offer warmth and heat, but they also change with each challenge. Be prepared.
Figure appears from out of a swirl of frost and snow. It's a northerner. "I come in peace," he says. "I make the pilgrimage to the High Priestess. I mean you no harm." Without waiting for approval, he slumps down beside you and warms his hand by the fire. "In my youth, I once fancied a northerner warrior. She almost cut off my head when I serenaded her." Malekthip plucks a mournful note on his lute. "Young love, hey?" Alright, so we can actually change our appearance. Review the mission, trade, or cook food. Just curious to see if there are any new options here. Nope, looks like it's pretty much the same screens. That's alright. Let's see what we have for trade. Oop, that is too expensive for us. Let's cook a little food. You sleep through the long, cold night. In the morning, you pack your things and continue your climb up the mountain.
Not every temple has crumbled into the dust, more's the pity.
The Temple of Divine Providence provides blessings in exchange for a simple gold donation. Might as well. Gambler's Banquet, Gold Zealot, Monk's Vitality, Beggar's Charm, Second Wind. In combat, boost life to 75 when lock drops below 25, then discard this card. Don't really want to have a card that discards it. Gain up to 20 gold at the beginning of a new map if you have less than 20. If your max life is less than 150, you may discard food gain or equipment in order to receive plus 5 max life. Now that's pretty good. Receive plus 15 life for every gold gain card you leave. Receive 4 food after every dice gambit. There are several really good cards here. Life or food. So we can turn food directly into life, of course. But I think I gotta go with this max life card potentially. Max life is always extremely valuable. We leave with our new blessing.
The mountain itself pushes you back.
Well, we're not quite ready yet to move on anyway. We need more blessings.
A lesson in caution awaits us all. Nature, truly wild nature, will not tolerate fury in its domain, unless it is its own.
High up on the mountain, you see the silhouette of a man approaching through the heavy snow. He bellows through the roaring wind. Who dares trespass in the sacred grounds of our priestess? Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. Alright, another fight.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Malekthip and assistant.
Oh, did not get up the dodge fast enough. Ah, this weapon's so slow. But, you It works.
A
Hey,
remnant
alright.
of the Templars and their religious righteousness.
So I'm going to take it just because it's so much faster, if nothing else. I think I'm going to do it for the 5 max life there. The clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping away everything in its path.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their
Ooh.
master.
Oh, we need to re-roll that. There we go. Much better.
Well done. You continue to impress.
You seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock faces. The avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapon juts from the snow. As you near, you realize it is still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the avalanche. We're gonna dig him out. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we are enemies by blood. Take my blessing and lead me to my thoughts." And we gain some fame. Nice. And ally returns. Revive your companion at the beginning of each new map. So far he hasn't gotten hit, but that's still good to have.
Mages are hard to eradicate at the best of times. We have our ways of hiding from the light.
And we got a new token. Following Malaclipse's cryptic directions, many of which involve borrowing farm animals, you arrive at the edge of a vast and lonely lake. There you uncover a cave entrance blocked by a stone door. We must seek out Ira of the Vale and the underneath, the bard had explained, as you followed a frightened cow around the previous night. Let's figure out why. Malaclips drops his wine bottle nervously and forces a loud and hearty laugh, completely ignoring your question. The bespectacled ogre manning the door to the underneath doesn't look up from his book as you approach. 10 food items per entry, he grunts. Malaclips scoffs. "Robbery. If you're trying to hustle us, sir, I'll have you know that I can shoot lightning from my fingertips." The doorkeeper sighs. "Times are hard for us, Mal. You'll see when you get in there." I hate to lose 10 food, but we're gonna have to do it anyway. The ogre places the book down, and with a mighty push, the stone door rolls open. The narrow tunnel takes you deep below the earth, opening into a vast limestone cavern. Twinkling on the edge of an underground lake lies a small shanty town, red lanterns lining the quiet streets. Malaclips leads on. "Welcome to the underneath, coin slave." I still can't believe he calls me that. "Since that bothersome Empire edict, we've had to hide away in places like this. This used to be quite the hub of activity, but now..." He surveys the silent streets grimly. "I guess the Empire is increasing its forces." A few mages eye you suspiciously as you pass by. We don't really have any gold, so there's probably not much point in perusing the stores. Let's see what's in the tavern. Malaclips breathes in the heady scent of berry wine, smoke, and feathers. Ah, the devil's ears, my home away from home. He pulls out his lute and leaves to serenade the pretty bartender. She tries her best to ignore him, as she should. You survey the bar. A group of burly ogres crowds a too-small table. Meanwhile, a giant fleshy eyeball floats somberly by the window. We gotta approach the eyeball, that's just interesting. The creature watches you approach with interest. A smile breaks out in the knotted flesh at the base. "Would you care to dance, small one?" it asks solemnly. "Sure." It's a slow, circling dance, the creature humming an old harvest song all the while. After some indeterminate amount of time, the dance ends. "Ah," the creature sighs, "that took me back to my youth." The creature's eye is so large that it is difficult to tell whether it is looking at you or somewhere behind you. Seems like an impertinent question, but we'll try. The creature chuckles, and the fleshy tendrils on its underbelly shake heartily. Didn't answer, though. "This is an item that I kept from the last warrior I ate." It regurgitates an item on the floor with a clatter. What would you offer in return? Well, looks like I don't have much of a choice. It inspects the equipment. Yes, this will be a lovely addition to my collection. Alright. Let's take a look at our inventory. Maybe we do at least have a neglected sword, so this might work in our favor. Let's approach the ogres now. The ogres are arguing jovially about winnings. They seem to be caught up in some kind of dice gambling game. Let's see if we can get the rules. He wishes for the rules, does he? An ogre slaps another on the back, guffawing. No rules, just roll the dice. If the dice is bigger than a number I choose, you win. An older ogre clears his throat. You might want to know, Sellsword, we are playing for blessings. Interesting. I suspect we could make it cheaper if we could buy a round of mead. But let's go. The largest ogre throws you the dice and pulls out a shimmering scroll containing the blessing you're playing for. Divine Providence. Roll 18 and this spell scrolled will grant to you. The dice taker roll 18 will require a perfect roll. The ogres bristle. One grabs his club menacingly. As he rises to his height of 2 men, you are quickly reminded that you are dealing with ogres here. I think we'll just leave them be. Let's find the contact. Malaclypse leads the way through the dim, lonely streets to Ira's house. You can hear screaming coming from within. A woman in robes adorned with silver ornaments greets you at the door. Merc said you would come begging for help. Regardless, you are late. Malaclypse bows with a grin. I have an illness. I'm hoping to purchase a cure. Ira of the Vale frowns for a bit, before nodding and letting you into her house. You enter the sitting room and the source of the wailing is made clear. A man is locked in a cage, crying in fevered agony. Sores of corruption fester on his body. Without warning, she opens the cage and the man rushes at you, but with surprising strength, Ira subdues the mad, writhing creature. This is the mage, Cohen. He thought he could fight off the corruption, but he could not. Ira watches Malaclypse carefully as Cohen's cries get more and more guttural. What should I do with him? The bard looks away, disgust and fear in his face. He appears close to passing out. She nods before turning to you. What will you do? Interesting. So he's already suffering from corruption, of course, which means eventually he should become a monster. But I'm not hugely fond of just killing people outright. To be honest, I suspect that the right answer is to kill the mage. But let's keep him locked up. She throws the creature back into the cage and locks the iron gate. Then you wait. Malaclypse makes a feeble joke about going to get some candied buns for the show, but a withering glance from Ira convinces him to stay. The imprisoned mage begins to deteriorate quickly. The sores of corruption spread across his body, and blood begins to pour from his mouth. As he throws himself at the cage for the umpteenth time, you know no shred of humanity remains. Ira flings an enchanted shard of ice from her hands into the corrupted mage's throat, killing him instantly. You are too weak, she glares at Malaclypse, who is staring wide-eyed at the dead mage, the both of you. With that dealt with, Ira begins tinkering at a table strewn with dead and shiny things. I do have a cure, but as you know, nothing comes free from with our kind. She taps silver dust from a bottle. Save the stolen mage children for me, and I will give you the cure.
A reward well earned.
Wonder what would happen if you would have done it the other way around. So, those Empire bastards have taken them to some walled fort in the docks of the city. And you better hurry, Ira smiles at Malaclypse. That illness can't be held at bay for much longer, I wager. Let's ask how they know him. He was my lover when I was young and stupid, Ira says matter-of-factly. Nonsense, Malaclypse shouts. Why, I'm alluring at all ages. You'd be glad to have me still. She does not agree. Ira gives Malaclypse a severe look, and he balks, cowering in his seat. Ira laughs. He hasn't told you. Then it's not my place to say. But know this, friend of Malaclypse. If he doesn't find a cure soon, you are in grave danger. Nonsense, Malaclypse stands, unstoppering a wine bottle nervously. Alright, I guess we should leave. Ira of the Veil finds you again just as you begin your ascent. Mal, the bard turns. You catch a glimpse of hope in his eyes. She avoids his gaze. Take the children to the madmen. Near Frostfort, they run an orphanage. I fear it is no longer safe here. That's hard.
Ever since I've returned to this world, I've been disappointed. The filth, the shame, the horrors dwell in the minds of men, not in the monsters in the darkness.
Westwind's only tavern, the Rusty Razor, is a safe harbor among the many dangers of outer reaches of the Empire. Its barkeep sits outside his establishment with the look of resigned defeat. Upon your arrival, he jolts straight up, and a smile almost breaks out on his face. At last, someone from the guild is here. These Empire soldiers have almost ruined me. Before you can disagree, the owner swings open the saloon doors and pushes you inside. Inside, you discover a handful of Empire soldiers enjoying ale rather than doing their duty. The freshly invigorated barkeep hops onto a table and shouts above the noise. You lazy, drunken deserters are done. The Stewards Guild has sent an enforcer here, and now you're all going to have to get back to your posts. This town needs defending. One of the soldiers rises with a slight sway. We've got 3 days until our shift ends and we return to civilization, so we're not doing any fighting unless they threaten the supply of ale, right, lads? A raucous cheer erupts and beer tankards smash together all around. So why don't you take your shiny little badge and shove off? The barkeep turns to you. What are you going to do? Well, I don't have enough money to offer a bribe, so let's threaten them. You suggest with menace that the soldiers should report to their duty, or they'll report to the healer. So we're either going to be very successful. Nope, not successful. I won't be threatened by the likes of you, the soldier grumbles as he rises, followed by his friends. Alright, well, you know, this is typically how things go. At least I have a decent shield. Watchman. Taken from the dregs of society, elevated to petty positions of power. Watchmen can block, greatly reducing incoming damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Just once, you can get a quiet drink.
That was unique. I didn't expect it to teleport. Kind of threw off my game there. Alright. We gotta focus on what we're doing a little bit more here. These guys have a lot of health. There we go. Oh, they killed my companion. There we go. We still managed to kill him. Well, we managed to get a blessing at least. Adds +2 to each of your dice during the dice gambits. Wow, that is impressive. As soldiers fall under yet another blow from your weapon, the leader shouts out, "Stop! Alright, we'll do our part. Just stop cracking our skulls." And we gain a little more fame. Okay. We should probably camp. As though you were being stalked, the gentle northerner pilgrim emerges from the darkness, slumping down beside you. Mount Freitas does ever bite, he says with a grin. I love her harsh kiss and build her cold embrace. Another day's good climb. In my youth. Oh, same thing we've already read. Alright, let's cook some food. I think we're gonna need at least 50 there. Alright, let's break camp. This time,
You
of course,
push on
we'll ascend.
despite nature itself attempting to thwart you.
Alright. As you ascend the snowy Mount Freitas, you happen upon a cottage with pungent smoke wafting out of the chimney. A frail old lady sweeping snow off the path beckons you come in. We've come in search of the great High Priestess to deliver an important message, says Malaclips. You'd better go blaring blessings if you want to get on the High Priestess's good side. I'm fixing a batch right now if you'd like a taste. If I got it right this time, you can take it to her, she says, stirring the cauldron. Malaclips politely declines. I've been watching what I eat, but my companion here has an insatiable appetite, he says, nudging you forward. Ah, man. You take a sip of the putrid porridge and feel your stomach churn. I knew I shouldn't have substituted the cloudberries for bogberries, she says, comforting you. Choose the righteous path and you'll find blessings on your way, I'm sure. You step outside into the blistering cold and continue up the mountain.
A grand opportunity for you to take whatever
And I
pleases
still don't
you
have
and
gold.
go about your day.
Alright.
In the cold,
Another blizzard.
men become
This is
desperate.
terrible.
Women hold these mountains together, even through the worst.
Alright, let's see if this time we can avoid getting into a huge fight. Well, could have been worse. The wretched smell of fish meat and stale sweat alerts you to the presence of a bear rousing from hibernation. The ferocious beast bares its teeth and swipes at you with giant paws. I think I would rather just have to fight. You flee the cave, having barely survived the savage attack. Luckily, the blizzard has passed. And so now we can do another campfire. But we need to continue onward. Ah,
Here's a
market
token
thief.
for you, if you can earn it.
So the market bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the lands call it to passerbys to sell their wares. As the sun beats down on the crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a well. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, you discover a pickpocket, making off with some of your belongings. I only had 4 gold anyway. You jump to your feet and catch a glimpse of the thief as they weave through the crowd. Success! Alright, Usad, keep your darn stuff, the thief mutters as they drop your belongings on the ground. As you gather up your things, the thief runs off back into the crowd. Still didn't get a high success though, but I didn't lose anything this time.
Your
Another
supplies
blizzard.
are running low. Make your choices carefully.
This is getting dangerous. Alright, we really need a success here. We are just not having a good game. Alright. Once again, we're alerted to the sound of shuffling footsteps. And... okay, looks like we have bosses. That's awesome. Berserker. Fueled with rage and determined to destroy, Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movements and attacks. This is going to be an incredibly tough fight. Okay. Will be very hard for us to survive this one. Oh boy, that was close. Oh, so that's been switched on the buttons. That's now left shift. Interesting. I wondered why it wasn't working when I hit F before. Oh, that's... okay. We need to avoid taking any more damage. This is gonna be super close. Oh, we won that. Alright. There we go. Oh, he didn't die. Shoot. Can't believe he lived through that. Whew. Alright, well, we got an achievement for that. Probably for winning with less than 5 health. Well, we got a little life back. Oh boy. Alright, this better not be another blizzard.
In your life, you will have wandered endless intersections, yet this one sticks with you. Why? What is it in your memory that catches here?
You arrive at a signpost, detailing the possible path north and south. Malaclip sniffs the air. My magical senses are pulling me towards the north. It smells like someone is baking cinnamon pie somewhere up ahead. Okay, that was interesting.
The mountain is unforgiving. You would not be the first to die upon its peak. Old witches. I have a fondness for them,
Alright.
but I would not trust them.
Farther up the mountain, the blizzard becomes so intense you can barely see the tiny cottage engulfed in snow. An old lady beckons you in. I've received word from my sister's hawk and have been expecting you. I may not be as skilled as her, but this blessing potions I whipped up is my best yet. Do you think it's good enough to take it up to the high priestess, he says, blowing the steam off a simmering bowl of thick liquid. Remember how great it worked for you last time? Says Malaclip with a sideways glance. Alright, I need this one to work. That was so fast. Of all the choices, ay, ay, ay. And we still don't have blessings. This is going tragic. I have 2 life. Alright, we actually succeeded for once. But seeing as how we have no food, we're dead.
You are starving now. Every fresh encounter will cause you damage. Tread carefully. So hunger gnaws at us once more and leaves us dead and unfulfilled.
Wow, that was not how we wanted to do things. But we still managed to get a token. And we managed to get another.
You still have a chance to defeat this mission, even if imperfectly.
Alright, well that was not particularly successful. We'll just have to see how we can do next time.